wanted to tell you a little bit about your president. And, who better but your president himself to tell you about himself. And there's nothing I love more, frankly, than Biden's story time. I know you do too, Pat George. So let's get right into it because your president is about to tell you a quick story. Jury's still out on whether this is completely fabricated or has some elements of truth in it. But listen here. Now, I love it how he does not remember what state he's in. I've got a couple of guesses myself, but listen to your president tell you a story.
I really mean it. This may be the easiest thing I've ever done so far as president. I mean it.
Even he's laughing.
I got to tell you a quick story.
Okay, here we go.
When I was running for office, and I'm embarrassed, I can't remember exactly which state I was in, but a gentleman and I think it was his wife and a little girl said, "Could I talk to you?" And she had this, I couldn't understand what she had in her hand. It looked like a teddy bear. And she said, "Can I talk to you, Mr. She wasn't sure what to call me. I wasn't elected yet. Mr. President or Mr. Vice President." I said, "Sure, what's the matter, honey?" She said, "I want to give you something. I want to give you some bear's ears." I looked at her, and she gave me this little set of bear's ears. She said, "You got to promise me. You got to promise me. You'll protect the bear's ears." And I'm thinking, what the heck is we... I mean, at the time, I knew bears, but I didn't quite get it. She said, her dad said, a national park. I said, "Oh, yes." She said, and she went and looked, she said, "You promise. You promise." And I promised. And it's the easiest promise that I've made in a long time.
Oh, man, I'm glad we had that story time. That was real sweet. He doesn't know much of what was going on in that story, what the girl had in her hands, what state he was in, besides maybe the state of stupor. But I'm glad you shared that with us. Now, what I want to hear from your president a little bit more is what is his plans? What are his plans? He's pushing all these electric vehicles, zero carbon emissions by 2020. Remember that one? He's pushing these electric vehicles. And where is one going to charge up one's overland sailing yacht, one's electric overland sailing yacht? Where would you do that? Would you do that at a Jargy station? Maybe so. Let's hear from your president now as to where you might do that.
Parenthetically, when you build a charging station, it's like back in the day when my grandpa worked for the American Oil Company back in the turn of in the 1920 in that area. They went from state to state convincing people that allow them to put 20,000 gallons of gasoline under the ground. They didn't want them around.
Oh, yeah, I love that. When you build a Jargy station, you mean a charging station? When you build a Jargy station, like back when his grandpa worked for Merrill Can Oil Company. Oh, you mean American Oil Company? No, Merrill Can Oil Company in the turn of the 1920 in that area. Just got to love it. You got to love your president. Thank you for sharing a little bit of humor with us, Mr. President. We've enjoyed it, as we always do. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.